For decades, the story of space exploration was shaped by two giants, America and the Soviet Union, later Russia. These two nations were locked in a fierce rivalry, each pushing the boundaries of what was possible beyond Earth's atmosphere. Their competition gave birth to some of humanity's greatest achievements, from the first satellite to the first human in space. From Sputnik's historic beep to the enduring Soyuz missions, Russia's rockets were once the backbone of human spaceflight. For decades, they carried astronauts and cosmonauts to the International Space Station with unmatched reliability, becoming a symbol of Russian engineering prowess and ambition. This legacy was a source of immense national pride and a pillar of global cooperation. Russian spacecraft became the lifeline for international crews, especially after the retirement of the U.S. space shuttle, cementing Russia's role as a trusted partner in orbit. But the mighty Russian space program has faltered, its roar quieted by mounting problems at home. Years of underfunding, political turmoil and aging infrastructure have taken their toll, leaving once bustling facilities eerily silent. The world watched as the nation that once led the space race began to lose its edge. Each setback was a blow to its reputation, and the sense of inevitability that once surrounded Russian launches began to fade. Reliability, once Russia's hallmark, started to slip. High-profile failures and technical mishaps made headlines, raising questions about the future of the program and the safety of its missions. The narrative shifted dramatically in February 2024 when Elon Musk, the face of a new era in space, bluntly declared Russia tragically weak in space. His words were more than just a critique, they were a wake-up call to the world. SpaceX had seized nearly two-thirds of the launch market Russia once dominated. The company's rapid innovation, reusable rockets and relentless drive had changed the economics of spaceflight almost overnight. Musk's words echoed a new reality. The old titan was stumbling, and a nimble challenger was rising. The world's attention shifted from the aging Russian fleet to the dazzling spectacle of American private enterprise. Years of internal struggles at Roscosmos collided with SpaceX's meteoric ascent. The contrast was stark. One agency mired in bureaucracy, the other fueled by innovation and ambition. The traditions of the Cold War era left Russia ill-equipped for a commercialized, fast-moving industry. While the world moved forward, Russia clung to old ways, unable to adapt to the new space economy. The stage was set for a dramatic shift in power above our planet. New players entered the arena, and the balance that had held for decades began to tip. Russia, once the default leader in space, now found itself outpaced and overshadowed. Its storied past could not shield it from the relentless march of progress. The unthinkable had happened. The crown had passed to a new contender. The era of Russian dominance was over, and a new chapter in the story of space had begun. Russia's space woes stem from deep systemic issues. The Angara rocket, meant to replace aging launchers, has been plagued by endless delays and technical setbacks. Reliance on outdated systems and foreign components has left Russia vulnerable, especially under international sanctions. Technical failures, from docking mishaps to manufacturing defects, have eroded Roscosmos's reputation for reliability. Financially, the loss of commercial launch contracts and export revenues has starved the agency of vital funds. Corruption and mismanagement have siphoned off billions, compounding delays and quality issues. This vicious cycle of stagnation, financial strain, and administrative rot has crippled the program. Russia's space sector, once a global powerhouse, now struggles to keep pace in a rapidly evolving industry. As Russia faltered, SpaceX sparked a revolution. Rocket reusability became the game changer. Falcon 9 boosters returned to Earth, slashing launch costs and making space more accessible. Frequent, reliable launches turned SpaceX into the world's leading launch provider, filling the void left by Russia. The company's rapid manufacturing and launch cadence set a new industry standard. SpaceX's dominance is now undeniable, responsible for the majority of satellites placed in orbit each year. Their approach forced competitors to rethink strategies and adapt or fall behind. The era of government monopolies gave way to private sector innovation and efficiency. SpaceX's rise marks a fundamental power shift in the aerospace world. The future of spaceflight is now defined by speed, disruption, and commercial ambition. Russia and SpaceX embody two radically different philosophies. Russia's state-controlled risk-averse model favors incremental improvements and bureaucratic oversight. The Soyuz rocket, refined over decades, is a symbol of this cautious approach. In contrast, SpaceX thrives on rapid iteration, vertical integration, and a willingness to embrace failure as a path to progress. Rockets are built and tested at breakneck speed, with design and production teams working side by side. SpaceX's streamlined process allows for quick adaptation and mass production, treating rockets as products, not monuments. Russia's fragmented, slow-moving system struggles to keep up. This fundamental difference in philosophy explains why SpaceX has outpaced its historic rival. The future belongs to those who innovate fast and learn faster. Russia's decline has dramatically reshaped the landscape of international space partnerships, sending ripples through the global space community. Once the world looked to Russia as a leader in space exploration, a nation whose expertise and technology were indispensable to joint missions and scientific progress. As sanctions tighten and technical challenges mount, Russia's role as a central pillar of the International Space Station has steadily diminished. The country that once launched astronauts from every corner of the globe now faces growing uncertainty and operational setbacks. In response, nations that previously relied on Russian rockets for access to space are increasingly turning to SpaceX, drawn by its reputation for reliability, innovation, and cost-effective launches. SpaceX's rapid advancements have made it the preferred partner for many. The Crew Dragon spacecraft now routinely ferries astronauts from around the world to the ISS, taking over the critical role once held by Russia's Soyuz capsules. This shift marks a new era in human spaceflight, with private industry at the helm. The old model of strategic, government-led alliances is giving way to a dynamic global marketplace, where SpaceX stands out as the service provider of choice for both established and emerging space nations. Meanwhile, Roscosmos, once a vibrant hub of international collaboration, finds itself increasingly isolated, struggling to maintain its relevance and influence in a rapidly changing industry. SpaceX's commercial approach has democratized access to space, opening doors for countries and private companies that previously lacked the means to participate in orbital missions. Today, the day-to-day business of space has shifted decisively to the private sector, with commercial players driving innovation, investment, and international cooperation at an unprecedented scale. As the world embraces this new era, Russia is left struggling to define its new, diminished role on the world stage, searching for ways to adapt and remain relevant in the evolving space race. Facing decline, Russia is plotting a comeback. President Putin now champions private investment and commercialization in the space sector, a sharp break from the past. The ambitious Rassvet satellite constellation aims to rival Starlink, with over 1,000 satellites planned for internet and drone control. Russia also plans to sell high-resolution satellite imagery, tapping into the global demand for Earth observation data. Success hinges on overcoming old problems, production delays, technical unreliability, and a tough investment climate. Attracting private capital will be a challenge as long as corruption and sanctions persist. Russia's blueprint is bold, but execution will require deep reform. The future of its space ambitions hangs in the balance. The reversal of fortunes between Russia and SpaceX signals a new era in space exploration. Once dominated by state superpowers, the space race is now being reshaped by private companies and commercial interests. This shift is not just about who gets to space first, but how we get there and what we do once we arrive. The old duopoly of state superpowers is giving way to commercial competition and rapid innovation. Private aerospace companies are pushing the boundaries of technology, making space more accessible and affordable than ever before. Cheaper, more frequent launches open the door to new scientific missions, private space stations, and deeper exploration. This democratization of space means that more countries and even private entities can participate in the final frontier. The dream of a permanent human presence on the Moon and Mars feels closer than ever. Concepts that once seemed like science fiction are now within our grasp thanks to advancements in technology and international collaboration. But this new era brings challenges: crowded orbits, space debris, and the risk of militarization. As more players enter the space arena, the need for regulation and sustainable practices becomes increasingly urgent. International cooperation and new rules are needed to keep space peaceful and accessible. Global treaties and agreements will play a crucial role in ensuring that space remains a domain for peaceful exploration and scientific discovery. The competition between Russia and SpaceX will drive progress and force adaptation. This rivalry is not just a race to the stars, but a catalyst for technological advancements and new opportunities. The future of spaceflight will be shaped by a dynamic ecosystem of nations and companies. Collaboration and competition will coexist, driving humanity to new heights and deeper into the cosmos. Humanity's journey into the cosmos is just beginning, and the map is being redrawn before our eyes. The next chapter of space exploration promises to be the most exciting yet, filled with endless possibilities and uncharted territories.